Hello and welcome to another video from me. I wanted to do something a little bit different for this video though, because it's almost my birthday, and so I wanted to do like one of those like 25 things that I've learned at 25, or like those videos. And you're gonna be so impressed with me. I'm impressed with myself. I actually wrote things down today. Yeah, I never do that. I never have a script. I'm just always just like going insane. My 25th birthday is in 4 days, so I'm not quite there yet. I don't know, maybe I'll learn some more lessons in the next 4 days. Kind of every day is a new day to learn something new. But I wanted to sit down, and it's not just going to be 25 things I've learned, 25 lessons I've learned. I wanted to do it a little bit differently. And so what I'm going to do is 25 of like the most impactful things in my 25 years of life so far, like the things that have impacted me the most. So I'm going to break it down into 5 sections. I have life lessons, and then like books that I've read, media that I've consumed, music artists that have like just deeply impacted me, and then the last 5 are my 5 goals for like the next 5 years, basically my 5-year plan. And yeah, just my goals and hopes like for the future, looking forward instead of just also looking past. I thought that would be fun and like, reflective, but also like looking into the future. I'm gonna get into it, but first I'm gonna take a sip of tea, I think. So the first category is going to be my top 5 like lessons that I've learned in my 25 years. And the first one is, and this is like the motto of one of my favorite YouTubers. Her name is Shel Bisley, and I have been watching her probably for 10 years, I think since I was like 15 years old. The first lesson that has just been like one of the most profound, biggest lessons that I've learned in my life so far, is that you cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do. And like I was saying, that's like Shel Bisley's like thing that she says. That's her catchphrase in like every single video. That's how she ends her videos, and it's really true, and it's more that it's like you should do everything that you can do, but it's not just that. It's also like everything that you do matters. Everything that you do in your life, every single little minuscule thing that maybe you don't even think is going to be impactful, it matters, and the world needs you to do it. Like, the world needs you to do whatever good you can, even if the good is just smiling at your neighbors when you're like walking to go get your mail, or like being kind to the old lady in front of you at the grocery store, or just the small things. Everything that you do matters. And also, like, in this same realm, like, everything is connected. And so whatever front you're fighting on, like the battle that you choose to fight on and to work, like for example, if you are very impassioned about LGBTQ plus communities, and like helping them, that's very important, and it impacts everybody else. If you're very like, if you care a lot and your main focus is on the environment and helping the environment, that's really important. If your focus is home, like, it's all of it is connected. And this is something that I've learned, I've come more to terms with recently, but like that everything, the intersectionality of everything is connected. And so even if you're just focusing on this one section and it's like everything is a mess and you feel overwhelmed, you just focusing on that one thing, focusing on making one thing good is enough. It is what the world needs you to be doing. And it will impact the other people as well. It'll impact everybody for good. Like, and you specifically, you as a singular human being, make a difference, and you count, and the world needs you. And that is also like kind of my life motto. Like, I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. So that is lesson number 1 that I think that is like probably my top lesson of like my entire life. And the thing that kind of keeps me going a little bit, like, because it gets really overwhelming, you know, you think that what you're doing doesn't matter, and so you just shouldn't bother doing anything at all, but that is so not true. It is so not true. You absolutely matter, and you do make a difference, whether you think that you do or not. So, yes, that's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is you can't control other people. The only thing you can control is your actions and how you react to the world around you. Don't stress too much about what other people are doing. And this was said in better words in a YouTube video that I was watching the other day. I was watching somebody else's like birthday lessons learned video. And she said it like a lot more succinctly and a lot less words, but same point gets across. Like, and this is also something that has like kind of been a recent like development for me, where I've really been like, oh, why did I care? Like, that's not my life. Like, why did I care what other people were thinking? Because they're not living my life. I'm living my life. And other people are going to do what they're going to do. And they're going to react how they're going to react. And you have no control over that. And there is no reason stressing about it, like trying to control the situation, trying to control the person. There's no point in doing that. And so, like, the only thing you really can do is focus on yourself and focus on the way that you react to the situation. And it, like, even if somebody else is not reacting to a situation with grace, you can react to that situation with grace, you know? Like, you can be the bigger person. And if they're gonna be immature about it, or, you know, like, you can't control how other people are going to behave. What you can't control what you cannot control. And I know it's like, it's so much easier said than like to actually like really believe it. And I still struggle with it too, you know? It's not like, oh, I've learned these lessons and I'm perfect and I never struggle with any of these things. Like, no, I do. I literally had a discussion about this with my friends yesterday, where like I struggle with that quite a lot, but I am learning. And like that discussion was kind of me growing and being like, you know what? I can't control other people, but I can control how I am going to explain this and how I am going to react. And we can move forward from this. But I need to control how I am behaving, you know? Like, and so anyways, that's my lesson number 2. Lesson number 3. This is a big one for me, again, personally. Love is love is love. It's not just love is love, but like love of all kinds is the same exact thing. It's just love. It's not different. Romantic love versus platonic love versus love for our planet, love for animals, love for yourself. It's all the same. It is all the same, and it's just love. And love for me is my purpose in life, I think. Not to get like crazy over here and like, you know, but like seriously, like the love of of life, the love of being alive and of other lives in general, my own life and every other life around me, whether it be plant life or animal life or people lives. And yeah, I've come to this realization recently again. All of these life lessons have kind of come to me more recently. It's not like I figured this out a long time ago. Some of it I have, but it's been like expanding on itself, you know. It's like you learn the lesson, but you continue to learn it. Like it's not just like it's set in stone forever and you don't ever like continue to expand upon the things that you've already learned about. But yeah, and I think this is very common, especially in our society, like under the patriarchy. And where like the romantic love is seen as like the most important relationship that you could ever form in your life. The most important love you could ever have for something is romantic love. Like that's what it seems like. That's what people, you know, make it seem to be, is like your romantic life should be your entire world. You need to find the perfect partner who will check every single box for you in your entire life. And that should be your number one goal. And the best thing that you can ever do with your life, especially as a woman or as somebody who grew up, grew up as a girl, grew up as like an AFAB in this society, like for us specifically, it's very, like stressed. Like I've been thinking about my wedding since I was about 8 years old. And I know that that's not an uncommon experience. I know a lot of girls, like, your wedding day is supposed to be the best day of your life. And, the goal that you should have in life is to be a wife and a mother. And just, like, the patriarchal nuclear family is the pinnacle of existence. And it is not. And you can love your friends as much as you love your romantic partner. And I came to the realization that, like, love is not finite, and love is not solely romantic. And love is just this thing that I can just give everything and everyone around me. And I can love everybody, like, in different but, like, equal ways. And it's been so, like, freeing, and it's like genuinely, truly, I'm like, that's why I was put on this planet. Like, I was put here to love, to love things, to love our world, and to love the people in it, and to allow other people to love as well, and to liberate people so that they can fully love themselves, they can love others, like, and as a queer woman especially also, like, love is my lesson. And I, like, fully wholeheartedly believe that, and I don't think anything will ever sway me from that belief ever. Like, I mean, love is not a finite resource. And, like, also do not just think that love is romantic. It's like, you should love your friends as much as you love your partner. And I don't mean sexually or romantically, but, like, you can do gestures of love for people in your life that are not your romantic partner. And you really need to, like, believe that, I think, and come, like, for me, it's been so liberating, like, to be like, like I said, my love is not finite. I can do that for everybody that I love, I don't need to, it doesn't need to just be for like my romantic / sexual partner or partners. Okay, sorry, ramble session over. Lesson number 4 that I have is that you should be your top priority in your own life. But that does not mean that you should not prioritize other people. Because I feel like when you say that, a lot of people will misconstrue it and be like, oh, that's so narcissistic. Like, you should be your own main character in your life. It's your life. You should absolutely prioritize yourself. But also, do not think that prioritizing yourself means that you never prioritize anybody or anything else besides yourself. Like, that is absolutely not what that means. Because, I mean, like, I've seen a lot of things lately, or I guess within the past, like, several years, you know, like, people talking about, like talking about their friends and being like, oh my God, like, I can't, you know, hang out with you. What do you think? I just have time. And the thing is like, if you want to be friends with somebody, if you want to be in a community with somebody, you prioritize that. You make the time. You figure out your schedule, and maybe not always, but if you are never engaging in your relationships, you're not going to have any, you know? So, like, you should not be the only priority in your life, but you absolutely should be priority number one. Like, your health, your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health, financial health should be the thing that you care about the most in your life. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't care about other people and their lives as well. And finding the balance is really hard. I struggle with that. I struggle with all of these lessons that I've talked about, but I think they are very important and, like, impactful lessons that I have learned and am still learning, you know? But yes, that is lesson number 4. And I work on that. It's hard to balance everything. But yeah, you should be priority number 1. If something is, you know, like, you should not put things above yourself. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't prioritize anything ever. So, that was lesson number 4. Lesson number 5 is you need to become comfortable with breaking stupid rules of little consequence so that you will be able to break larger rules of major consequence when the need arises. That is a quote from a according to my friend. I didn't look it up, actually, but I believe that's, like, a very, like, common, like, very popular anarchy quote, or, like, you know, like, people in that space. And I only saw it recently, and I was like, oh my God, you do need to be comfortable of breaking stupid rules of little consequence. Sorry, I'm trying to see who said it. It's James C. Scott. Here, the full quote is, "You are not regularly disciplined and practiced in breaking dumb rules that are of little consequence. You will not have the moral fortitude to break big rules of major consequence when they arise. As such, it is your duty to exercise breaking stupid rules to build up a tolerance to people's opinion." By James C. Scott. And oh my God, like, when I heard that for the first time, I was like, yeah, like, oh my God, wow. And it's like, you start really, really small sometimes. Like, for me, I have always struggled with being a people pleaser, with meeting other people's expectations that I think that they have of me. I don't even know if they have those expectations of me, but, like, I think that people expect me to behave a certain way and to be a certain way and to look a certain way and just my life to look a certain way. And it has held me back a lot from doing a lot of things that I wanted to do or how I want to express myself, because I'm like, no, what, this person that I don't even know on the street is going to have a negative opinion of me. You need to start doing things that are going to bring you out of your comfort zone so you stop caring what people think of you. For example, I'm going to use just a random little example here. Can you see that? I have stopped shaving. I've stopped shaving everywhere. I don't shave my legs. I don't shave my underarms. I trim things, but yeah, I've stopped shaving. And that, for me, honestly, has been just kind of an experiment for myself to be like, that has been my little thing that I've done that's like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing that is not societally acceptable for a feminine presenting person really to do. And I'm gonna try to do it for a year, which I'm currently 6 months into this experiment, I believe. I'm pretty sure I stopped shaving in like end of August, early September of last year. So I'm like 6 months in. But and like literally the first time that I like went out in public in a tank top with my, like pit hair grown out, I was like, oh, people are going to think I'm disgusting. I don't know those people. Why do I care what they think about me? Like, that's so weird. And if I do know you and you have something to say about it, why? Like, maybe we could have a discussion and be like, why do you care? Maybe you need to dismantle some things. But anyways, that's just an example. And like earlier today, I was showing off I have a tattoo on my ankle. And I was showing it off to one of my coworkers because she noticed my tattoo on my arm. And I don't know, we were just talking about tattoos. But anyways, I like pulled up my leg and I was showing her my tattoo. And in the moment, I was like, ooh, should I say something like, oh, sorry, I haven't shaved? And then I was like, what? Why would I do that? Like, apologize for having body hair? Sorry, having body hair is a human thing, not just a masculine thing. It naturally grows out of my body. Like, it's more unnatural to remove it. And okay, this is not me getting on my high horse about like body hair. And I'm a full believer in your body, your choice, okay? Whatever makes you feel the most comfortable in your own skin is what you should be doing with your body. But for me, it was actually like a much bigger hassle. Like I did not like shaving. It was every time I was like, I had to shave, I was like, man, are you kidding? This again? Like, God, and I would just let things grow out for a while, and then I'd be like, oh, I guess I have to shave, because I didn't like it. It was a chore that I didn't want to do, and so I was like, why am I doing this? Because I cared about people's opinions. But like that was one of those things that was like a small thing, but it's building my tolerance, you know? It is my small thing of little consequence. Like, so what? Somebody's gonna say something rude to me? Why do you care what my body looks like? Okay. And like it's of little consequence, but you need to do things like that. I mean, I'm not telling you to grow out your body hair if you don't want to. That's just my personal example, but like something of that nature, something that puts you out of your comfort zone, that breaks a stupid rule of little to no consequence, so that you build up a tolerance to people's opinions. Because especially in this world, like, that's kind of necessary. Like, you need to stop caring what other people think about you. The only person's opinion that should truly matter in your life is your own. So that's lesson number 5. Moving on, I think the rest of this is probably going to go a lot faster. The second category I have is my top 5 artists that I love. So my top 5 musical artists, which is really funny because I actually have 2 of their posters sitting right next to me, like on my wall, because I got them from concerts that I went to. But anyways, artist number 1, who has deeply impacted me, favorite artist of all time, I love him so much, Hozier. Are you surprised? You shouldn't be. I cannot begin to describe how much I love Hozier. Like, and I know a lot of people love Hozier, like, oh, he's so whimsical. He's our, like, Irish Fae king. But, like, no, he's a fucking anarchist. He's an Irishman, okay? And, like, yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, and I did film a little video for that, and at the end I was ranting about being angry about what happened to Ireland, and I feel like a lot of people miss his points, that he, like, miss the meanings of his songs. They just think, oh, this is either A, this is so horny, and oh my god, this man must fuck so good, or like, oh, he's so magical and whimsical and amazing. And some of his songs, don't get me wrong, Some of his songs are very horny, and some of his songs are very magical and whimsical. But a lot of his songs are very like, we're gonna tear down the system, like fuck the man, you know, like Eat Your Young. A lot of people, for example, especially like I've seen on TikTok, a lot of people think that Eat Your Young is about eating puss. No, it is not. Have you ever paid attention to those lyrics ever in your life? Have you heard Nina Cried Power? Have you listened to Empire Now? Have you, like, most of his songs are so political. If you've ever been to any of his concerts, it's so empowering and so political, but it's political in the way in which it's like, we're gonna win. The good people are gonna win. And it's, I love Hozier so much. I have been to 2 of his concerts. They've both been just amazing. The second concert that I went to was outdoors up at Lake Tahoe in, it was a full moon, and oh my god, I left a part of my soul there, but it also imprinted a part of itself into my soul for all eternity. So anyways, artist number 1 is Hozier. Artist number 2 kind of falls into the same realm a little bit. Very different vibe though. Bastille, actually. I love Bastille so much. They are the first artist actually that I ever saw in concert. And it's funny, when I first, it's kind of same with Hozier, you know, like when I first found them and listened to them, I didn't realize how political they were. And then I started like listening to their full discographies and stuff. And I was like, oh, wow. I'm clearly drawn to people that are angry at the government, the governments of the world, because like Bastille is British, Hozier is Irish, anyways, whatever. Bastille though, oh my god, I love Bastille so much. Wild World is my favorite album of theirs. The Currents, I sing that a lot lately because the currents of our political climate are something for sure. Final Hour, everybody should, I highly recommend Final Hour. As an environmental science girly who is just terrified and enraged, fantastic song. Oh my god. My third artist, this is falling away from the realm of political, but just I suppose she kind of sings about political stuff in a different way. And I feel like this is going to come to no surprise to anybody either. Lizzie McAlpine. I love Lizzie McAlpine. She's like in the same realm as Noah Kahan for me, even though he's not on this list, actually. But Lizzie she has spoken to my soul through her songs so many times before that I'm like, how dare you? Like, why would you, like, and she has a lot of like, you know, like fun, whimsical songs that are just like, it makes me feel very like cottagecore and like I should go frolic through a field. But at the same time, she has songs that I've sobbed hysterically to. Pushing It Down and Praying was a song that made it onto my Spotify Wrapped last year. And yeah, if you want to go listen to that one, you can go listen to it for yourself. But I love her. Love Lizzie. Number 4, this is going to maybe be surprising to people that don't know me. And especially because we're like switching gears with the genre here. Sleep Token. Sleep Token is another, I have their poster on my wall right next to me. I also have been to one of their concerts. And Sleep Token, I can't even really describe, like, why I love them so much, because it's not about their lyrics. For me, they are very lyrically talented, don't get me wrong, but they're also very British, and I can't understand Vessel for the life of me. Like, most of the time I'm like, I don't know what we're singing about. Like, first time I listened to Caramel, I had no idea. I was just like, do, 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 you know, like, I was like, oh, this is such a fun song, and then I actually, like, looked at the lyrics, and I was like, oh my god, like, oh no. But I love Sleep Token. And like I said, I've also been to one of their concerts, and Yeah, a lot of the ones that like 4 out of 5 of the artists that I love and that have touched like my soul, like my top artists in my 25 years, um, I've been to their concerts. So if I go to a concert, it's typically because I really like the artist. And moving on to that, number 5 is Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy, I feel like is weird being on this list, but like this isn't like because they've like it doesn't need to have like a deep meaning, you know? Sometimes it's like Fall Out Boy impacted me because I really, really liked them in my like tweens, you know, like in the early 2000s, like when they finished their hiatus and they came back with Save Rock and Roll. I was like 11, 12 years old, and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And I still love Fall Out Boy. Fully Ado is the best album. You can fight me on that. And I like, because their lyrics are not meaningful, you know? Like, they don't, like, it's not like political hard hitting, like, oh, this is so amazing, but it's just, you know, it's just very, like, nostalgic, and it was very, like, in my top band during my formative years of life. And I did go to their concert, and it was not the best concert that I've been to, but it was like the best in the way in which it was my childhood band. Like, it was my childhood favorite band. So Fall Out Boy, of course, had to make it onto this list. I felt like I would be doing them wrong if I didn't add them. Topic number 3 is my top 5 books of all time that I've ever read. These are books that have, like, changed the way that I view the world, that have, like, so incredibly deeply impacted me. I love these books. These books, one of the books, is actually sitting in front of me, and I haven't even finished reading it yet. I am in the process of annotating it, and I have been just, like, on the weekends, I'll read one chapter. And that's like, I've been doing that for like 6 months, but it's still one of the most impactful books I've ever read in my life. So anyways, the first book, which I don't have a physical copy of this, and I'm really sad about it. I would love a physical copy of this book. I love this book so much. But the first book is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. I read this book last year, on like a whim. I went through a list of banned books, and I just like kind of put all of them into a to read list. And then one month I didn't know what to read. And I was like, oh, the library has this available. I'll see. Literally changed my life. And listen, I don't think that this book would be as impactful for other people to read. I think it was very, like, because of my own personal, like, situation. But I do still think it would be impactful for everybody to read, even if you, like, can't relate to it in any way. Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. Literally, I'm not joking when I say this, changed my relationship with my father. Because... okay, and this is like lore about me that we don't really need to super get into very much, but my dad was adopted by a Choctaw man when he was a baby, basically, and grew up, like, with the Choctaw culture, and he grew up on the reservation. Like, he grew up in the Choctaw Nation in Oklahoma, and my dad can speak Choctaw, like, but for me, because looking at me, obviously, I don't, you know, like, I do not look like I'm anything other than European. And when I was growing up, I grew up in white, middle-class, suburban America. And all of my friends, everybody around me was white. And long story short, when I read that book, it, like, made my dad make so much more sense to me. Like, suddenly... I fully understood my dad, and every single, not fully, but, like, it just helped enlighten me so much with, like, my dad and the choices he's made in his life and why he behaves the way that he does. And, like the culture that he grew up in. And like, it makes so much more sense when you're like, oh my God, that's where you're coming from. Like, that's, and I don't need to get super deep into it, but that's why that book has impacted me so much. Literally, I read that book and like a couple weeks later, I cried. I cried so much reading that book. And yeah, I like texted my dad and I was like, hey, like, can you teach me more about Choctaw culture? And we've actually started like to connect, and like I have a relationship with my dad again, and I haven't had a relationship with my dad in like 10 years. And other than like exchanging pleasantries, basically, like I actually like talk to my dad and like want to listen to him and value him, and like I'm not as mad at him anymore. And God, it was just very, for me personally, extremely impactful. I have so many quotes saved from this book, but the one quote that like I think about a lot is, especially in our current society and the current political climate that we're living in, but if you care about something enough, it's going to make you cry, but you have to use it. Use your tears, use your pain, use your anger, get mad. And it's that quote, like, it's funny because that was a scene in the book where he's like getting ready to play a basketball game. But like, it's just so relevant to life. Like, if you care about something enough, it should upset you. Hold on to that emotion, and channel it, use it. Like, if you care about something enough, it's going to make you cry. And God, I love that book so much. It lives in here forever. It lives in my heart forever. Like, what a phenomenal book. Book number 2, in the same realm of talking about Indigenous experiences. This is the book that I haven't finished yet either. Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I love this book so much. Like, can you see? And you see, I'm only halfway done with it. It's like, it doesn't matter. You can see it well enough. I love this book so much, especially, and again, I think this is a book that has impacted me more than it probably would impact some other people, because of my own specific circumstances. Like, because my father like grew up Indigenous, like like Choctaw, and kind of tried, like, even though I may not have like he may not have been able to teach me as much as he wanted to, I'm sure. And I didn't like hang on to the lessons as much. Like, he tried to teach me a lot of the stuff that's in this book already, like about the way that Mother Nature like is viewed and works in Indigenous cultures. But also because I am an environmental scientist, like, because I went to school for environmental science. I'm not a botanist, but like I love like science, plant science, nature science. So, it's just like the beautiful blending of both of those things. Indigenous wisdom, scientific knowledge, and the teachings of plants. Like, truly, what more could I personally ask for? This book has changed my life, and I'm so serious about that. And I recommend every single person read this book. Like, I'm not kidding. And I'm not even finished with it. It's so good. Every single one of these marks is a mark it has left on my soul. So, Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I can never say her name. Highly recommend that you read that. Fantastic book. The third one was a book that I read in November, because I apparently like to make myself upset. It was a book that I do not have a physical copy of this book either, but it is called Ruin Their Crops to the Ground, and it is about how we have always used food for a political weapon, as a political weapon. And it has changed the way that I view our food systems forever. Like, that book, that is a nonfiction book. It was not a very fun read, but at the same time is incredibly eye-opening. Like, I was so mad. I continue to be so mad. The dairy industry is so evil. And just the way that our government weaponizes food is evil, is atrocious, and that is why I care so much about like our food systems and food sovereignty and being able to grow my own foods that are healthy and, you know, like cheap, and removing myself from people being able to weaponize a basic human necessity. Like, it's awful. Our food system is really, really messed up, and that book, I'm not kidding. I read that book, and it's changed the way that I like view the food system forever. So, and then in the same realm again of food, is kind of. I just read this book. I just finished reading this book a couple weeks ago, actually. Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. Phenomenal, fantastic book. I didn't love it, and then I loved it. I'm a sucker for historical fiction, actually, and like getting perspectives from especially like the 1950s and 60s and stuff, when everything seemed so like glittery and perfect, and you know, that was like, don't get me started on this. I know that is like my like that this video is not a don't get me started video, so do not get me started about that right now. But the 50s was like the root of all evil. It wasn't, but it's like what we're currently dealing with today is because of the 50s. Anyways, but yeah, it's like nice to see like alternative perspectives from that time period, and like women's perspectives, and like women fighting for their rights, and just dealing with so much misogyny and stuff. And like, you know, like even though we don't currently deal with exactly that same stuff, we kind of still do. Like 60 years later, we're kind of still dealing with the misogyny in the workplace. I just finished it recently, and yeah, it was like one of my favorite books I've ever read. Actually, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And then the final book in my section of my 5 books is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And that is an interesting one for me to put on here, I feel like. But that book, it's got same vibes as Lessons in Chemistry, honestly, because it's a woman in the not Lessons in Chemistry. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is like from the 50s to like the 90s. But it's like the perspective of a woman just trying to make her own way for herself, you know, and to be respected. And she faces a lot of misogyny and just abuse, and she's a queer woman. She's bisexual, and I don't even think I knew that was like a plot. I don't know how. And I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't read it yet, and you want to read it. I don't want to like tell you what the plot was. But I don't think I realized that, like, I knew that it was like a queer book, but I didn't realize that was kind of like the main focus of the book. I thought it was just like this woman and her experiences in, you know, like the golden age of Hollywood. And then I was like, oh my God, lesbians, let's go lesbians, you know, like it was, so I really love that book as well. And that one's kind of just like it's fun silly, but it's not fun silly. It was also like very, I like reading historical fiction and like reading about like topics that, you know, were taboo back in those days, and like people having to deal with that because they did. just because it wasn't shown in movies doesn't mean that it didn't happen, you know? Like, so anyways, those are my 5 books. I highly recommend that you read, at least if you're gonna read any of the books that I just recommended, Braiding Sweetgrass is like absolutely number 1. And then I would also recommend Ruin Their Crops to the Ground. Life-changing. Like, you will, if you read those books and it doesn't change your life, you probably already had the mentality already. Like, I don't, but anyways, that changed my life. Those were really, really good. 4th topic that I want to talk about is my 5 top, I guess I have movies, TV shows / YouTubers, but basically just video media in general, of all forms. Like, cause I couldn't just choose like movies or TV shows. So I've decided to do a blend of, well, and also some YouTubers, which I think I already talk about these YouTubers a lot, but I'm going to talk about them more because I love them. And I feel like, I don't know, I just want to give them a shout out. So anyways, my top 5 video media, that's impacted me. Number 1 being Anne with an E. Is that surprising? No. Very cottagecore, very like I want to live in Avonlea. I want to live at Green Gables. That's my dream, you know, like, but it's also so much more than that. And, Anne with an E specifically, don't get me wrong, I have read the book. I've read Anne of Green Gables. I haven't read like any of the other books, but, Anne of Green Gables is very cute. And I really, really enjoyed it. However, it's not as impactful to me as Anne with an E. Anne with an E is like one of the few, I feel like, book to like show or movie adaptations that like they did such a good job with that, and they made it better, in my personal opinion. If you don't believe that it's better, I think it's because you're actually a bigot. But anyways, like, Anne with an E not only shows Anne and, like, you know, a girl who is an orphan and who's adopted and who has this like kind of like weird, rocky, but like eventually beautiful and loving relationship with her adoptive family. But it's also, you know, like, so first off, Anne with an E and Anne of Green Gables in general, like, is the thing that's made me be like, oh my god, I want to adopt a child. Like, I want to give that to a child. I want to give a Green Gables to an Anne of the world. And I just, I really like seeing the perspective of a child, you know, like, in the system and going through that and finding like a beautiful, loving community to raise them and take care of them. But also it being messy and it not being beautiful and perfect and sunshine and rainbows because it is messy. Like, adoption is born from trauma, you know, in any regard, even if you're adopting an infant, like, it's a situation that is coming from a traumatic experience. Like, so anyways, love that perspective, but also Anne with an E brings in a lot of other perspectives that the book doesn't. It brings in Indigenous people's perspectives. It brings in, you know, minority perspectives, Black people, and queer perspectives. Also, again, going back to my favorite books, I'm a sucker for historical fiction. Like, give me historical fiction with like hard-hitting political issues that were going on in the time that aren't normally talked about, and I'm eating that up, you know? Like, yes, I want to know about the perspective of queer people at that time. Yes, I want to know about the perspective of Black people at that time, and the Indigenous peoples, and the horrible things that were happening to them. Am I sobbing every single episode? Yes, I am. But like, am I also like, it's just like entrenching itself into my soul forever? Yes. Anne with an E is just so amazing. And truly, I think if Anne was a real person and if we were alive at the same time, we would be kindred spirits. Like, that's just, I love her. I love her so much. She's just like a phenomenal character who's just so messy, but like just so good. I love her. The second one is the movie The Danish Girl. I tried to read the book. The book was written in a way in which I couldn't, like, my ADHD brain couldn't keep up with it. Like, I was really bored reading the book. The movie, though, that's like the only movie I've ever sobbed hysterically to at the end of. Like, it's just, again, you're gonna see a trend here. You should already be seeing the trend. I keep mentioning it, but historical fiction about like queer issues. Oh, yes, give it to me. Give it to me. Like, oh my god, I love it so much. It was like just such this beautiful story about like being true to yourself and finding yourself. And I mean, it's about a trans woman. And the thing that hit me the hardest about it is that it's based off of a true story. It's based off of a real woman, you know, like a real trans woman and her experience in the 1920s in Denmark. And like coming to terms with that about herself and loving herself and embracing it and being like, I'm gonna be my truest self. And it, like, that was such a hard time to be queer in general, especially to be trans. Like, that was insane. And it was really gut-wrenchingly sad, but also really beautiful. And it was like just like a story about like just true unconditional love, like for yourself, and also like the way that her wife just loved her through it all. And I sobbed hysterically. Like, literally, I was like audibly sobbing at the end of that movie. And I love it so much. And it's like, I watched it probably, I want to say 8 years ago, maybe. And yeah, it still like has impacted me, and it's kind of impacted me even more recently, because I've had some people in my life it recently come out as trans. It's a beautiful but like heart-wrenchingly sad, but as most honestly historical queer stories are, they don't normally have beautiful happy endings, because the queer community has not been accepted for a very, very long time. So it's unfortunately really sad for queer people. But anyways, love that movie. Also a trend you might notice, if something makes me like super emotional, like sobbing hysterically, it's going on the list. I like it needs to impact me so deeply. If you care about something enough, it'll make you cry. And it will go on your list. So yes, anyways, I love that movie. And the book is probably better, but yeah, like I said, I haven't finished it, so I can't recommend it. My third one is not impactful, like in any sort of like meaningful way. But this is what I call it, comfort food for my soul. This is my chicken noodle soup movie. Like, when I'm sick, when I don't feel good, I turn Pride and Prejudice on. Again, are we surprised? I feel like when I talk about myself, I'm like, everything makes sense. Like honestly, I feel like it's like, yes, that would make sense for me. For the most part, there are some things where I'm like, that's a wild card, but like, again, I'm a nuanced human being, you know, like I'm not just cottagecore, but I am very cottagecore. I love Pride and Prejudice. Are you surprised? My favorite version is the 1995 BBC version with Colin Firth. I've also read the book, and that version is kind of like a 1-for-1 almost with the book, which is like crazy. And also it's because Colin Firth is really hot, and I like looking at him, and I like the lake scene where he's just soaking wet and you can see through his white shirt. And Prejudice. Love Pride and Prejudice. both the 2005 version with Keira Knightley and the 1995 BBC version. Ugh, love it so much. And it really doesn't have like any sort of like meaning that I can really think of. It's just the vibes are just beautiful with it. So it's a classic for a reason, you know? Like everybody loves Pride and Prejudice because there's just something about it. Like Jane Austen really popped off with that one. Okay, and then the final two that I have in this category are YouTubers, which I think I've probably mentioned here before. I mentioned this first one earlier in the video when I was talking about my very first lesson. But Shel Bisley has genuinely, I believe, changed my life. And like I am where I am today because of her. She's just such a point of inspiration for me, like in how I want to live my life, honestly. I've been watching her ever since she was like dumpster diving. Like those were her main videos. Which yeah, it was like I swear to God, it was like 2015, 2016. She's just really cool, and she like advocates a lot for being a community member and building community and doing what you can, you know. Like I said earlier, you cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do. And just, I don't think she's the one that coined that term, but like I first heard it from her, and like that's so true. It's so true. And I love her videos. I recommend that you go watch her. I'll link her down below. Watch her if you're gonna watch any of her videos. I would recommend watching the video that she made about lawns, because also after I watched that video, I've never viewed lawns the same again. There's so many things where I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize how evil that was. Like, oh my God. But yeah, I just recommend watching her videos in general, learning about sustainability, learning what you can do, easy changes you can make. We love being sustainable because being unsustainable is, guess what? Unsustainable. And we'll all die. So not to get like crazy and dramatic, but also it kind of is that dramatic, you know? So anyways, my fifth video media that I want to talk about, who's also a YouTuber, is Megan Hughes. Megan Hughes, I again started watching her probably about 10 years ago. And I recently went back and started watching her videos again, like within the past couple of weeks. I've been subscribed to her for the entire time, but started watching her again. I love her. I forgot how much I loved her. She is also so like impactful. She has been just a source. She has been like a big sister to me. Like her big sister advice videos, like literally, she's kind of the reason, her and Shel Bisley, those two women are the reason I stopped shaving. And the reason that I'm like, I'm probably not going to shave like ever again unless I feel like it. Because I mean, I it's my body, my choice. I can do whatever the hell I want. But like, and just in general, just with everything, she's just so like, I love her, and I kind of want to emulate her with these videos. Like, I don't want to like, you know, I'm my own person. I don't want to like try to copy her, but just like the way that she films her videos and the stuff that she's doing with her life is very similar to what I want to do with my life. And she is like a big sister because she's a couple years ahead of me, but it's like nice to be like, oh, well, like, you know, like advice, like get advice from her. Like she feels like a mentor to me. Both Shel Bisley and Megan Hughes feel very like mentors to me, and I love them, and they've impacted me. And I genuinely think I am the person that I am today because of both of those YouTubers. So yes. I have one more category to go, guys. One more category. We can do it. I believe in myself. My tea is cold at this point, is how long I've been talking. But my very last category is my top 5 hopes and goals for the future. The first goal and hope of mine is to figure out a way to make a living that is flexible and is in alignment with my life and with my values. Because currently, that's not how I'm making a living. I'm working for the man, as I'm sure everybody else here is, you know? Like, I'm not having a great experience. I really do not feel like I am living in alignment. I mean, none of us are. I feel like very few of us are. It's rough out here. It's bad. Working in corporate America, because that's how you can have healthcare, is the most atrocious thing that's ever happened to humanity. Well, that's not true. But like that is not the worst thing, but it's not great. We're not having a good time. Anyways, that's my main goal currently, honestly, is like figuring out how to, unfortunately, still earn money because I still live under capitalism, but in a way that allows me more freedom to engage in my community, like gives me more time where I can go to community service events, and like just gives me more time that like that I can garden and things like that. So that's my personal number one goal for my future. My second one is to get more involved with my community. That's so funny that they like blended into each other. But yes, I really do want to get more involved with my community. I want to go to more in-person events. I want to actually be helping like with community service events more. I want to talk to more people, make more relationships, build more community, and be a better villager. Is my like goal, really. Like I just want to be able to do that more. And yeah, and it does it, like it ties into my job thing, because if I have the ability to go to like a community event in the middle of the week, or like go to, because that's the thing, is like town hall meetings and stuff, always happen in the middle of the freaking week when I'm at work. I can't go make a public comment. I'm at work. Like, it's designed like that on purpose to make it so that you cannot engage with your community. But I'm trying to change that for myself. I'm trying to fix that. So, number 3 is everything is connected. Learn to grow and properly preserve my own food, and learn how to collect and purify water. Those two are really important for me. I am I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared about food security and water security. Water security is way more important than food security, unfortunately, but also water security goes into food security, because if you don't have water to grow your plants aren't going to grow, and yeah, with AI, and I live in a place that is incredibly drought heavy. I live in the desert. I live in the middle of the desert. They're building a bunch of AI centers, like, on the river, basically, like, down the river from where I live. We basically got no snow this year. We're breaking record temperatures, and it's only March. I'm really afraid for my life, and I cannot lie to you. I am, like, genuinely, like, that is not okay. It is not okay. It's so not okay. Yeah, my fourth goal is to live slower, more sustainably, and more in alignment. I feel like that kind of goes in with everything else. And yeah, I am, trying to find a job in which I can do that will allow me to do that. And I'm trying to reorient my life, like, so that I can do that. That is my main goal in life, and I hope that, I hope that everybody can also achieve that one day. But I know it's really hard. It's really hard. But yeah, we're not meant to live like this. We are not meant to live under capitalism. We are not meant to live to work. You work to live. You don't live to work. Like, it's not okay. And so I'm really, really hoping in my 25 years and beyond to work on not having to work to live. I mean, or live to work. You do still have to work to live, unfortunately. But if it's work that you like doing or that fulfills you, like in some capacity other than monetarily, there is a lot of wealth that's not, like, that's not just money. Like, the wealth is so much more than just having money. So I'm trying to do that. And then my fifth thing, that is a goal of mine, that is for the near future and also for the broad future. And I feel like a lot of people want to do this, and I also will take you on this journey as well. But like, build physically, like, move back in. I'm moving back in with my mom so that we can all help each other. And we can, like, we can resource share, and we can, like, pool all of our money. And so, like, I'm basically, my future goal is to build intentional community, but I mean that physically where I am living. Like, and my future long-term further away goal is eventually to find land to buy with my friends and family, that we can build houses on. And I think that's a lot of people's, like, goals as well. But yes, that is actually something that I'm, like, seriously thinking about. And I think, like, I need to start seriously thinking about it if it's ever going to happen, because we've been casually talking about it for the last, like, 2 years, and everybody's like, I would love to do that. Oh my God. But it's like, I'm, like, going to get the ball rolling on this because I want to make that happen. Like, I don't want it to just be some, like, pipe dream that's like, oh yeah, that would be really cool if that happened. Like, no, I'm going to make that happen. It would be really cool if that happened, and I will ensure that it does. So, anyways, those are some, I guess, 5 things that you can look forward to hearing about on my channel in the future, is all of that. And yeah, that was my 25. That took a really long time, but I'm a known yapper, so, I hope that was perhaps entertaining or enlightening for you in any way. I hope that my lessons maybe resonated with you. And yeah, if you have any interest in, like, any of the things that I recommended, whether they be, like, the serious things or the not serious things, like, I really like all of those things that I just told you about. So if you want to go check out any of them, be it, like, the YouTubers or the musical artists or the books or whatever, I recommend all of it. And yeah, thank you for listening, and happy 25 years of rotating around the sun to me, I guess. And yeah, here's to, at the very least, I hope 25 more. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Sorry for the ice cream truck. Oh my God, I was like, what is that? It's loud. Can you hear it? I'm pretty sure you can. Record-breaking temperatures. Yeah, we love to live through that every single year. I hope that we live in a utopia in the future, like, I hope that we reverse climate change and that we have, like, a full regime change, and we have full reconstructing of our political system, and food, water, and housing are guaranteed for all people. And, like, I really do hope all of those things. But having the tea was a good idea, because now I'm not going to get, like, really dry throat.